What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Trout Wrangler Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Garrity. This right here, this guy, is the show's vibe curator, Mr. Maverick. You know what he does. Sits back here, chews on bones, make sure the vibes are right. Um, you got anything to say for us today? Nothing. He wants that bone. I'll let you get that bone. Go back to your spot. But got a really cool episode today. Um, we are one episode away from episode 100 in all. Um, doesn't seem like it's been that long, but you know what? We'll take it. Um, it's been a ride. It's been a wild ride. But before we get into this interview with Mr. Sam from Community Fly Supply and Space Coast Flies, I want to thank the partners that help make this possible: Bahio Sunglasses, Fleta Coffee, Free Fly Apparel, Temple Fork Outfitters, Loon Outdoors, Yeti Coolers, and Trout Routes. Also, if you want a free month of Trout Routes Pro, there is a link to get you signed up for a free month of Trout Routes Pro in the show notes. So, until then, next is our interview with Sam from Community Fly Supply and Space Coast Flies. What's up, guys? Like I said in the intro, we do have an interview today from the state of Alabama. I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit, Sam.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Ryan, for having me. My name's Sam Sumlin. I'm the co-owner of Community Fly Supply here in Alabama and Space Coast Flies. That's our fly company on our online store.
Yeah, I do two awesome companies. I buy a
Thank you.
bunch of materials actually from Space Coast. Dude, I love y'all shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. We
Dude, like
appreciate it.
all the ties too. That's why I hit y'all up. I was like, I gotta get these guys on. But
Yeah, good.
my first question at all is where and when did your fishing journey start, and like kind of how did you get that transition to using a fly rod?
Yeah. So my fishing journey started. Honestly, can't even like pinpoint my first fish. I was probably so young. Um, my grandmother on my mom's side would take us fishing like ponds, like worm on a cane pole.
Yeah,
Uh, my dad was a fisherman, so my dad always took us. We'd go up to like Smith Lake in North Alabama, fish. We'd fish down here. We grew up on the beach here in Gulf Shores, so you know we'd fish West Beach Pass or the beach or just everywhere around here. So I don't really remember my first fish or anything, but it all started, at a very, very early age. Had the fishing bug my whole life, so grew up here on the beach, saltwater fishing. And we'd bass fish some places too, but mainly saltwater fishing. Uh, you know, did the whole gamut of everything. So like live baiting when I was a kid, just wanted to catch anything and
yeah,
everything. Then like a little bit later in life, was like hardcore artificial only spin fishing. We had an offshore boat for a period of time, so we did a lot of like blue water fishing, like trolling and stuff. And then probably 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, picked up a fly rod. A friend of mine actually tried to get me to fly fish when we were younger, and I was just like not having it. I was like, this is like way too complicated. I didn't understand it. It just wasn't the right time for me. And then just kind of got like, I don't want to say burnout because fishing's just always been fun for me. But just kind of needed something new. I'm
yeah,
ADHD, like we talked about. It's like I just really, really needed something new. A friend of mine that's like had fished when we were younger. He owns this company with me. He got back into fly fishing. He tied when he was young, and
hmm
he was like, "Hey man, you want to like tie a fly?" And we were just sitting there at his house one night and broke out the vise and actually tied a fly before I ever touched a fly rod.
Damn.
So I was like, "Well, I tied a fly. It was terrible. I still have it. It was a terrible little bait fish, but I was like, well, I guess I got to get a fly rod and start learning how to do this." So, just hopped on Craigslist, found an estate sale, bought a little 5-weight Redington, and just like instantly, I was like, "This is my thing."
Yeah,
Like I'm doing this. I'm all in. Started tying immediately, and it just kind of like snowballed out of control. And now I got a fly shop, and it's my whole career. So
Yeah, dude.
changed my life for sure.
I think that's definitely like an ADHD thing, like a hyperfixation. And
Yep.
that's like definitely how I was. Like my first one was like I loved playing lacrosse, and then that kind of I got fizzled out on that, and then I was on our high school's fishing team as well. Did that
Okay.
all up and through college, and like that was my thing too. Where I was like, one of my buddies tried to get me to fly fish, and I was like, I'll just skip this bait caster around, and then I finally like was in Bass Pro one day, and I was like, I think I'm gonna buy that fly rod right there. And
Yeah.
it was like like one of those box combo flugers that was
Yeah.
just loud as hell, click Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And grabbed it, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And
Yeah.
started slamming like you're talking about throwing a popper, just catching a bunch of fish on a popper. I was like, this is pretty sick. And
Yeah.
then like gradually throughout the years, like my spinning rods and bait casters kind of started
Yeah.
collecting dust. And like after college, like when I got to college and stuff, I'd always pick them up in like the off season from tournament season. And then
Mm-hmm.
all my bass fishing rods got stolen out of my truck.
Oh man.
And I was like, you know what? I still got my fly rods. And I was just like, I don't really even want to, I don't even really want to go and replace my bass fishing rods. I don't even want to
Yeah.
think about that money. But like, it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep fly fishing.
Oh man, that's cool. I
Just
did
go
the same
all
thing.
in.
Just like grab some poppers, like Betts poppers or whatever, and just
Mm-hmm.
hit the golf course ponds because I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
man, I know I can go here and catch fish. I can catch bass, I can catch bluegill, and like it really helped. I tell everybody that now in the shop every day when they want to learn, and I say, man, get a rod, go to your local pond, or go hit some dock lights and just catch some fish. Because
Yeah.
like you'll get frustrated if you're going places, you don't want your first trip to be on a flat where you got to make 60-foot shots at spooky
Yeah.
redfish. You're going to immediately be over it. So I'm like, go to a pond, catch some bass, and you'll have the time of your life, and then you'll learn line management, how to like everything. So, that's where I like steer people towards. I'm like, you don't got to go all in and like, oh, I'll go catch a tarpon right away.
Yeah.
Go the easy route. Bass are
Yeah.
always free.
Dude, I feel like if like like you're saying, dude, like somebody goes right out and hops on a flats boat and is like, oh well, got to cast 80 feet to a damn bonefish right now. That if it falls the wrong way, that thing's
Yep.
gone. They'd be like, dude, fuck this, like
Yeah.
this sucks.
Yep.
So like steering them towards that golf course pond is perfect unless it's the golf course I work at. That pond sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some good ones around here. They've kind of cracked down on us lately, though. Like cracked down on people fishing them, so it's a bummer. But we got like a lake really close to the shop too that you can just go. I mean, just throw on like a number 6 popper and you can catch panfish and bass all day.
Oh yeah.
Especially in the summertime. Right now it's 25 degrees, so it's tough on us now. But it'll warm up quick. It's the south; it changes every 10 minutes. So
Yeah, dude. It's like you
yeah,
experience every single season in the course of a day.
yeah,
It's like the
yep,
morning you got the dead of winter, the by noontime you're feeling like the fall, and then it's like in the
yep.
summer especially, it's like your afternoon, it's like you're feeling like you're down in Florida in the middle of August.
Yeah, lately we'll like start the morning in bibs and 3 jackets, and a buff and a beanie, and like by noon we're like in shorts, like shedding every layer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, other than this week, dude, it's like we're keeping the Carhartts on all day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A little
But
different up there.
oh yeah, dude, it's bad here right now. Like big bad. Like getting snow Saturday. Be inside tying flies all freaking weekend. For the second,
Yeah,
the third weekend in a row now.
same.
Not complaining about that though.
Yeah,
Could be doing worse.
yeah, for real.
But dude, so kind of like tell everybody the story about how Space Coast Flies and Community Fly Supply got started, and like which
Yeah,
got started first.
yeah, man. So Space Coast was started way before Community. Um, I was saying my buddy that I had tied my first fly with. Uh, we're childhood friends. We've been friends since we were teenagers. Grew up surfing and skateboarding together. Uh, we both moved to the Space Coast when we were in our early 20s, probably 2021. I moved back within a year, but he's been there ever since. So that's where the
Yeah.
name Space Ghost comes from. It
Okay.
was his idea to start the company. He was tie-in, having people asking to buy them. So he was like, "Yeah, man, I want to start selling flies." And my business at the time was in marketing, so I built online stores. So I
Oh,
did
cool.
online stores and digital marketing. So I was like, well, this will be easy. We'll throw together a site and start selling. And I was getting better at tying at the time. I didn't come on right away. I was just kind of like handling the site and doing some photography and stuff like that. And then as my tying progressed, I started jumping in and tying some of the custom orders. We started as just tires and designers, like tie to order. We were selling like little 3-packs. We would just
Yeah.
throw them on the site. If somebody wanted them, we'd tie them then, and then quickly realized like, okay, this will get out of control real fast.
Yeah.
So that kind of snowballed into where when we got busy, we both had full-time jobs. We're tying on the side, filling orders. We just immediately were like, okay, well, we got to get more people. We started noticing all these guys on Instagram and stuff, just like us, tying on the side, DM me for flies, guys that don't have the time to build a whole website and stuff, and they're out there tying flies. So we started reaching out to people to start tying for us, and we were just buying like any shop would, and selling theirs, and just kind of like started growing it that way, and just being really selective about who we worked with and the types of flies we were getting. Stayed in our lane, and bought what we were familiar with, and then just let that grow organically. And so started bringing on materials because we were tired of paying retail for flies. For like fly materials. So like we can't make any money if we're going to a shop and paying, full retail for materials. So we started, picking up materials, and it just kept snowballing. So that we started Space Ghost probably 8 years ago. And myself and Ian, we've owned businesses together before. We owned an apparel business together a long time ago. So we've always kind of had like big visions for everything. So, as soon as it started gaining any amount of traction, we immediately were like, okay, let's make this bigger. That's just how we are.
Yeah.
So we started, what's the next step? So, we just started growing the amount of tires we brought on. We started growing the materials. It really took off when we moved all the inventory to me. I had a big office here in Orange Beach, and I kind of had more free time than him to take on to like pack and ship the orders. So when we got that space, we kind of like, said, all right, this is turning into something real. Let's make a go at it. So we started really ramping things up.
Yeah.
So a physical store was always in our mind. We talked about it a lot. We just didn't know when. We kind of had a goal. We're going to hit X amount of dollars per month in sales consistently, and then we think that's enough to where if we open a store, we're not stressed about somebody walking in the door, because we really didn't know this area, how much demand there would be. We knew fly fishing was booming here and that somebody needed to open a fly shop. We just kind of didn't have an idea. So we're like, well, my house was busting the seams. Everything was in my garage. We're going to have to rent a place to put all this stuff anyways. We might as well open a shop. So, and, we just kept plugging away at it for years and years and years. And then, finally we're hitting our goals and said, got to put our money where our mouth is. And this town really, really needs it. There's never been a legit fly shop here down on the island.
Yeah.
Fly fishing was growing so fast here. It's a big tourist area, so a lot of people traveling here too. So, we lucked out, found a location really close to the beach. We got the creek out back with a casting dock. It just kind of
badass.
Everything fell in place. I was over my career, my last business. I was just kind of like ready for something new. All my time and all my mind was here.
Yeah.
Like all my, all day while I'm working, doing marketing, doing all my other job, like I was thinking about this. So I said, I know I have to make a change.
Yeah.
It's all I think about. I'm not getting any younger. Let's make this happen. So I can ramble on about that forever, but it just kind of fell in place. And then so like once we committed and said, we signed the lease, we're going to hit the ground running. We knew we needed to expand into hard goods as well, because like just having an online store, we didn't sell rods and reels, and we're like, well, we built this big audience. all these people fly fish. Well, they're buying flies from us. They're going and buying the reels and lines and leaders and backpacks and from everywhere else.
Yeah.
But we already have their attention. So let's
Might as
give them
well.
everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
where on the Space Coast did you live?
Satellite Beach.
Satellite Beach? My uncle
Yep.
went to Satellite High.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we used
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
I actually used to fish Mosquito Lagoon right there a good amount. I
Yep.
lived there for 2 years. And honestly, dude, that area is actually needing a fly shop
Needs
horrendous.
one bad.
Dude, like bad. Because it's like you got Mosquito Lagoon bait and tackle. There used to be that one little fly shop. I forget where it was. But like it wasn't really marketed too well. I went in there on like a Saturday morning at like 7, and like there were some people in there. They just got back from duck hunting, and they're like, "Oh, we're not open yet. Like, we'll be open at like 9 o'clock." I was like, "Oh, all right. I'll be back in a little bit. I just wanted to like get a T-shirt and a sticker or something like that."
Yeah.
And dude, they closed down. Like, I think I went in there 2 other times and they closed.
I know about that shop. And there's Harry Goods down in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I think it's a really nice shop. But like as far as up by Mosquito Lagoon, like Harry Goods is
yeah,
a good ways away from there. And like, why is there not one in Titusville or
right,
Newsom? I know there's shops that carry some fly stuff, but a dedicated fly shop, you would think they could support it there.
100%.
So maybe one day there'll be another.
Hopefully, y'all gotta spearhead that.
Yeah,
Open
yeah,
up 2 of
yeah, yeah. Trying to keep this under control right now. So,
them.
but yeah, like I said, we have big visions. So
Yeah.
there's definitely more locations in our vision. So we already got our eyes on some things there. But um, yeah, it needs to happen down
Dude,
there.
like,
That's
big
just
time.
such a good place, man. It's such an epic fishery. He's in Merritt Island now. We fish I go down there every year and we fish, North Indian River and Mosquito
Yeah.
Lagoon. Just the variety. It's awesome. I
Dude,
love it.
it's that whole area is really cool, dude. And like what's cool about it is like you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's like you don't need a boat to go out there and catch a tarpon.
Yeah.
You can
Yep.
go right over the bridge and just stay straight and hang a right. And
Yep.
you can literally go and pull your fly rod out of your truck and literally catch a tarpon in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's
So
unbelievable.
that's where I live in Gulf Shores. We have a very diverse fishery. It's amazing here. We have, like I tell everybody, we have everything from bluegill to blue marlin,
Yeah.
and everything in between. But it's like there's not a lot of really good on foot access here. There's some creeks and we have our lagoon and you can fish anywhere on the beach, of course. But like you go down there, I can go find flats and I can walk for miles,
Yeah.
and fish a flat and catch snook and tarpon and redfish and black drum and beat the mangroves or sight fish on the flats. And it's like, I really wish we had that here. You can go into Florida and fish Big Lagoon and you can wade over there a good ways. But if my area was lacking anything, it would be foot accessibility like they have there.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of places that do like are lacking that. It sucks because that completely like alleviates an entire like majority of fishermen
Yeah.
that
Because not
don't.
everybody can afford a skiff.
Yeah.
And it's just cool that you can just go buy a $200 combo and go catch a bunch of fish.
Yeah. Dude, literally like go grab a Reddington Path or Reddington Crosswater
Mm-hmm.
and get a nice pair of what's it called, boots, the wading boots. You get a good pair of boots and walk out. Like you literally just wade flat because there are like in that area there's a ton of flats that you can access by foot. Might be a little sketchy. You might have to shuffle your feet a little bit with the stingrays, but like you can get out to like really good flats where there are giant tarpon. That I did it one day and literally got brushed by a gator, and one of the goon gators I call them, and I was like, not happening again.
Yeah.
It's like not happening again.
The gator situation, we've pulled over several gators down there, and we've gone to like get in the water in some spots, and there'd be gators there, and that really sketches me out. I've actually stepped on one's tail like in tall grass, and luckily he freaked out and went the other way. But like that sketches me out. We got some here behind the shop. We got a little baby gator that hung around all year, but like some big ones pretty close by. But this is water you wouldn't wade anyway, so it's not an issue. But down there, my like head's on a swivel
Yeah.
constantly. So it's sketchy.
Dude, it's so crazy down there too. Like I've seen some weird stuff. Like the manatees get up there in
Mhm.
those little like canals and stuff. I
Yeah.
saw I saw a manatee come up under a gator and start nosing it like the armpit of it. I got a video of it. It's the craziest damn thing I've ever seen. And some like scientist lady, I posted it on like my Instagram story or something like that. And a scientist had like um messaged me back and was like, "Hey, can you send me that? Like, I've never seen anything like that, and I want to study it."
Really?
Never heard anything back on it. I'm not the type of dude. I have more business being on the moon than talking to a scientist. But like, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I said it. I never heard anything
Yeah.
back on it.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
but what was your inspiration to start a brick and mortar fly shop in the Gulf Shores, Alabama community?
Um,
I think we
yeah,
just
like
kind
I
of hit
touched
on
on a
that.
little bit. It's the fact that we had a couple shops here that were inland a little bit, and there's a couple tackle shops that would have a little fly selection in the corner, but we really saw we had a fly club at the time, and a growing membership there. We have a triple tail tournament every year, and we just saw like all these people drawn to the sport, and it was growing so fast, and we are like, there's no hub here for it.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's why we named it Community Fly Supply. Like we wanted it to be the like central hub for everybody to get together. Um, you know, Learn here. Start your fly fishing journey here. Buy gear if you're experienced. Come teach us something. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
like to have fly tying nights and host events, and just grow the sport in our area, because we're this, like, Orange Beach is built on fishing. I mean, everyone here fishes. It's a coastal town, so it's like you know. Fly fishing wasn't as popular. You never saw fly fishing growing up here. Like I said, I had a friend or two that did it, but nowadays, like my buddy's a lifeguard, and he called me the other day. He's like, I saw 7 people walking the beach just this
damn,
morning, fly rods. So it's like just having this here, and I don't think it's us. I mean, obviously we play a part in it, because we got people come to town and they're like, oh my god, a fly shop! I didn't even know you could do that
yeah,
here. They're from up north. They're trout guys. They're like, I didn't even think about fly fishing when I come down on vacation. And so they see our sign and they come in, and then we show them everything we're catching and about the area. And so the next year they'll bring their fly rod or whatever. And it's just like it's growing a lot. And having the shop here to bring everybody together has been really great. But also the timing, our timing was perfect. Yes, we planned it. I mean, we planned this out for years. It wasn't just like we need to open a fly shop and next month we're open. We thought about this for a long time, but the timing was great because it just kind of fell in our lap. Through COVID, everybody got into the outdoors. That
yeah,
that boomed fly fishing a lot. There's more people coming here than ever, so it's just like the sport as a whole is just growing, and especially in the saltwater area and the coastal
yeah,
area. So it just kind of worked out, man. We're really lucky to have, not had competition, and just been the ones to make it happen here. And it's like, well, we had a full store in our garage anyways. We're packing and shipping orders every day, so it's like this needs to happen. So
yeah.
it's been
Dude,
fun.
that's got to be cool to like see like somebody come in like when they're down there and they're like, hey, like, damn, we didn't even know like you could fly fish here. Like, this is awesome. Like, cool fly shop here. And then you start seeing them year after year around the same time.
Yep.
That's got to
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, we just did our 1 year anniversary in October. We did our grand opening last December, so we just did our annual party, and it's like we're already starting to see the repeat customers,
Yeah,
because they come the same time every year, and it's like we were just open last year, and the shop's already grown so much since then. They're like, wow, oh my god, you're still here, they're almost
yeah,
like like people kind of doubt it because they don't know, they don't
yeah,
realize like how big the sport is, and how we're going to do. So like, but it's been a really good first year, and so we're already starting to see those people come back, and then more locals getting involved, and people driving from Pensacola or Mississippi, like
yeah.
from there's people that drive shop with us for 2 hours. I mean, it's incredible because like there's no shops anywhere near us. I mean, I think New Orleans and Sandestin, which are both over 2 hours in each direction. So, it shows you how much like people want this.
Yeah.
If they're willing to drive 2 hours, or drive an hour and a half to come to our fly tying night just to be involved with something, it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah. Dude, I don't even think the one in New Orleans is there anymore. Though, are you talking
Yeah,
about the one on Decatur Street?
no, they're in Metairie actually.
Oh,
So it's no Wake Outfitters. Yeah, AJ
Okay.
Rosenbaum and those guys. It's really cool shop. They're like a kayak shop and full outfitter, but they got a pretty good. Those guys, AJ, he's part of it, and they host the Gulf Coast Classic. It's the
Oh,
fly
cool.
fishing festival here.
Yeah.
So we do a fly fishing festival every May. So this year it's the first and the second. So it's like a 2-day festival, vendors, casting instruction, tires, seminars, all that stuff. And one of those guys, he's part of No Wake
That's
over there. They
awesome.
got a really cool shop. They do the Dirty Carp tournament. So that's a carp tournament in April. We help sponsor that. So we work with those guys some. And so we're going to go over there and fish the carp tournament. It's a really cool thing they got going on.
That's awesome. I know there used to be, I don't know if you remember it, if you've been to New Orleans, but Nola Fly Shop, they were
Yeah,
down
I never went there, but I heard about it.
they were down there on Decatur Street, and I think they closed like I want to say 2 years ago, or a year ago or 2 years ago. I forget which, but they had like an ice fly that I was looking for, and
Yeah.
I grabbed a ton of them when I was there, like in college, and lost the box in a
Man.
move, and I was like, I need some more of those flies, and I went to go and like call them up. Yeah, they're closed permanently, and I was like, damn, that's too bad. But I think they still run like a lodge down there somewhere. It's like Marsh and Bayou, I think. But dude, I think that's something.
Skip Supply down there in Hopedale.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a little shop down there. I think there's just not enough. It's a lot of guides down there and a lot of people travel there, but it's just not enough of a population to like sustain a big shop.
Yeah. That's completely like I completely understand that. Dude, like you really do have the guys that go down there on like the hosted trips and stuff like
got
that.
Everything. They're usually
they got it all right there, or they bring it with them, and it's like there's really no need for a fly shop down there at that point, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, they do the sheepy out of the Skip Supply shop. It's a really cool shop.
That's what I've heard.
And the sheepies are a really cool tournament they do over there.
Hell yeah. Dude, I think that another thing that you hit on earlier is like some people are like, oh yeah, you still here. I think people are so used to like somewhat like going to a fly shop and then going back and it not being there the next year. Just because like I feel like people, so like the fact that you guys have like a whole community with it and you're already starting to see repeat customers and stuff, that's awesome. And like really cool.
It's kind of, we thought about that a lot, but like, of course, our main business is online. Now it's kind of evening out. I mean, there's days where the online floats to the store, and there's days where the shop's killing it and the online's slow. But them working together is really important. I mean, if you're not online nowadays, you're dying.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe wholeheartedly that fly shops need to exist. They need to be there because people
100%.
come here for knowledge. You know, they want that hub. They want to be a part of something. They want a place that they can stop in and touch and feel the materials and check out the flies and talk to somebody and ask, what's biting? Where do I need to go? I mean, all those things. But as a business, like we need online sales to survive. So you kind of have to have both.
Yeah, dude, that's like cool too. I like how a place like that, like a fly shop that's like in a community, is the hub, and you have like really fun fly tying nights and stuff. Grab like a case of beer and just have like 7-8 people, guys and girls, or maybe girls, around the table tying flies. Drinking a few beers after work, like that stuff. That's really cool. I'm actually trying to do that here soon and go through the whole process. It's just, dude, like I want to have two vices on hand and like I
Mm-hmm.
sold my other vice, and I was like, damn, I should have
Yeah.
kept that. I should have kept
Yeah.
those two other vices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Get on Facebook Marketplace, buy a used one. Like we have two vices here. We had a snowbird come in today. He had bought a new vice and he's like, yeah, you mind if I sit down and try it out? I'm like, yeah, we tell people to do that every day. That's why we have a table here at all times with two vices. Like we'll sit down with people, how do I use a whip finish tool? That's one we
yeah,
get all the time. It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
we can sit down and show you, like, hey, how do you tie that shrimp fly? And we'll sit down with you and show you, or Yusuf will sit down and answer your questions. Like, you don't have to come in a tie night. You can come here at any time. So like I managed a surf and skate shop for
Oh,
12
that's cool.
years. So I grew up in like the surf culture and skateboard culture to where you had shop rats, like kids, these skateboarders, they would just hang out all the time. They'd get off
Yeah,
work, they'd stop by, see what's going on, watch the skate video, and just hang out and talk shit. And it's like, when we open this, it's like, that's what I want.
yeah,
That's what I want out of a fly shop. I want, and we have it. Like people get off work and they stop by here just to like, relax and chill,
yeah,
and see what's new and sit down and tie a fly. It's like, it's just a really cool culture. And like everybody's been super supportive of each other, like super welcoming. Like when we do tie nights, like, there's new people. Like every time we do a tie night, somebody ties their very first fly ever. And everybody's like around them helping, like
yeah.
answering questions and stuff. So yeah, it's an awesome thing.
Dude, I get a lot of people actually comparing like the fly fishing industry with that surf and skate um,
Yeah.
industry too, like with the shops and stuff. Especially, like I remember I used to actually skateboard and do BMX and all that stuff when I was
Cool.
younger, and
Yeah.
we used to have a shop Eastern Border in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it was the
Mhm.
same way. Like the same two shop rats were always in there with like old DC shoes, like DVD.
Yeah.
It's like Rob Deerdick.
Yeah.
It's the one you remember. You probably know exactly what one I'm
Oh yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it'd be like two kids and their mom's like out in the car. It's like two kids sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Like it's the parallels between the two sports or hobbies or whatever you want to call them. It's kind of wild. Like there's so many guys that are skateboarders that now fly fish,
yeah,
or still do both. And surfers that fly fish. Like there's just like, I think it's a mentality thing. One, it's like an individual sport. We're kind of independent people, but
yeah,
then also it's like, it's hard. You got to suffer through it. And it's a
yeah,
lot of risk. And then the reward is awesome.
yeah,
When it pays off, you'll throw out 100 fish a day and you get one to eat. Like it's just that type of addictive personality that
yeah,
draws people to
100%.
the sport. Yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
yeah, it's like that's always something really cool that I like. I like comparing is that skate shop, I like that skate shop vibe and that fly shop vibe. It's like very, very similar.
Yeah.
But what's your process of for hand tying or like sourcing flies? Like I think we hit on it a little bit earlier. Like it's not all custom stuff, but do you guys like
Yeah.
have custom one off stuff that you have local guys tie for you and stuff?
So yeah, we do. So we have quite a few tires that we work with. We do our fly drop Friday every
Yeah,
Friday.
those are sweet. I
We
love
post
that
them on
idea.
Instagram. Like we started that. It kind of like we wanted something for people to look forward to, and then also like for something for us to keep on track and on
Yeah,
schedule. Something to work towards. So like we started doing ourselves when we were tying them, and with the shop and with everything, like we can't tie as much as we want to. I'd love to just sit down and tie flies all day, but now I have a business to run, so I got to rely on a lot of other people. Usually, our time on the vise now is designing flies. So like we'll be working on new designs and testing new designs, and then once we perfect it or get it to where it's sellable and we fished it enough and we're and it's proven to us, then we'll kind of hand those off to one of our tires,
yeah,
and they replicate it. And these aren't factories yet. We still will go down that path again and do some mass produced flies, and we have a couple of those coming out too. But we'll have our tires, do small batches of them, or that's a good way to test like new colors. I mean, we fish everything that we tie, but see how the people react to it, from a sales standpoint too. And then we have, 10 or 12 tires that we just kind of keep in constant rotation that we order from. We look for like just really unique patterns and guys that are just really consistent at tying, because when you're selling flies, it's one thing if you're tying and fishing them, but when you're selling them, they all got to
Yeah.
look alike. They got to be perfect and consistent when they're sitting in a bin next to each other, and you're charging money for them. So we have a really good network of those tires, and then we also sell production flies from companies, Rio and EP and Fulling
Yeah.
Mill and some other companies, and like I told you before, we go through those production patterns and we really pick out the ones that stand out to us and that are consistent and tied well. If we find a fly that's a production fly that's, we get a batch and they don't look great or they're on bad hooks, then they go right in the trash. And So we really vet like all of our products. If we wouldn't fish it, we're not sticking it on our shelves and putting our
Yeah.
name behind it. But some of these patterns, some of these production patterns, these guys are licensed. These guys are getting money for them too. So, if I want a pattern from Nick at Sandbar Flies, I want his sand fleas. I got to he's too busy. He can't wholesale to shops, so he hasn't made there. So we have a good mix of everything. If you want just American made small batch customs, we got them and we drop them every single week, so we have those too. But if you just want a well-made fly, and you want to buy dozens of them at a time, we want to be able to have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So that way, we're not permit fishermen. So I want the permit flies from the best guys,
Yeah.
and the best companies that are selling those permit flies, because I can't sit down and design them because I don't have permit, So like we're trying to find those flies from the best people in the industry that are out there testing those things. So
Yeah.
we really just go through everything and find those.
I think that's huge too. Is like we were talking about it earlier. I mean, dude, a lot of people don't give the production tires like their flowers enough. I feel
Yep.
like some of them don't get their flowers. Some of them pick up a fly and be like you were saying earlier, be like, oh, this thing is tied from such and such a company, and it's like this is shit. And it's like no, like there are people
Yeah.
spending their hard earned money and time tying these flies too. Not really hard earned money. It's like it's actually the company's material, but it's like they're spending their time busting their ass in a shop
Yep.
across the pond, just tying hundreds and hundreds of flies a day,
Yeah. Well,
and they're
tying
good.
thousands. And
Yeah,
when you're tying thousands, um, you perfect something. This is not true for all the factories. Yeah,
yeah,
there's factories that use shit hooks. Um, Consistency's bad, and like I said, we don't sell those flies.
yeah.
You buy EP bait fish, they're really well tied.
Oh
EP
hell
bait
yeah,
fish, they're all on gamakatsu hooks. It's a big thing. If they're on garbage hooks, we're not carrying them. So like looking at these, like some of these factories can tie flies better than us.
I
And like I'm the first to admit
I
that.
have
Like if you're
more of
yeah.
those two hooks
Yeah.
right there, the SL11 and the SC15 in every damn size.
Yeah.
It is the best hook on the market, in my
It's so
opinion.
good. Yeah. FL12 short, that's my go-to bait fish hook.
Yeah,
They're phenomenal. Yeah. Shout out to Gamakatsu. They sponsor our tie nights too.
dude,
So
dude,
yeah,
their
that's awesome.
social team is so good. Like
Yeah.
anything, dude. Like especially the Gamakatsu USA team. Anything I ever like, literally tag them in, they're liking it like 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
how are they on top of it so much like this? And it's
Mhm.
like with other people too. I'm like, damn, that's actually really cool for a company that big to be doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's important to have, connection with people in that way. I mean, we all live on our phones and on social media. Unfortunately, I wish it would all go away. We can go back to the old times, but like that's the world we live in. You kind of got to adapt. Like I said, if you don't have an online store now, you're dying.
Yeah,
You need to, because people are on their phones. So, and you just have to.
yeah,
But like, yeah, like back to the like the production flies deal.
yeah.
Like I said, there's good ones and bad ones,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's our job to find the good ones. And some of these are phenomenal. They're really well executed flies, and I have no problem with putting them on our shelf.
yeah,
But if I could only sell independent tires, flies. If I could access as many, I would. I
Yeah.
would just do everything. But we have a business to run, and we sell a lot of flies. And so if these flies are good and they fish, then we want them.
Yeah. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about the EP bait fish, dude. That black and purple one, I call them the blorples. Dude, the
Yep.
black and purple bait fish is
Yeah.
freaking phenomenal. I
Yeah.
freaking
Black and
love that
purple,
one.
man. It's I don't know what the fish see, but it works.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with like a tarpon or something like that. I feel like electric chicken and blorple. You could literally stock my box full of pink and chartreuse
Yep.
and blorple, and I'd be content with my life.
Yeah. 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 We fish a lot of one of our best selling patterns is a neon icon. It's one of my patterns. It's a redfish crack style fly. It's a smaller one, simplified redfish crack, but it's all craft fur, so it sinks really
Oh, it's
fast.
awesome.
I made it to sink really fast because I'm fishing it for pompano on our beaches, so I
Yeah.
really needed to get down quick. So having that material that sinks, that doesn't trap air and stuff and gets down quick and that thing it just catches there. I tied it for pompano, but it catches everything. The big trout get on our beaches here in the spring. It was awesome for that. Tons of redfish eat it. Man, that's been like a really, really good one for us. Yeah, the electric chicken, man. Some people are scared of it. Like people
Yeah.
will come, I'll tell, they're like, "Oh, what should I use?" And I show them that, and they're like, "I don't know, man. Like there's nothing that looks like that out there." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. There's nothing that looks like that, but the fish
Yeah.
eat the shit out of it." So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep throwing it until they stop eating it.
Yeah. Dude, it's something, dude. It's like, yeah, you'll say that until a freaking tarpon takes down an electric chicken gurgler like like you're throwing a damn piece of chicken at a gator.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's
Yep.
nothing that look like that, but a tarpon or a red's gonna go batshit insane for it.
Yeah, it has nothing to do what we think of the fly.
Yeah.
We tie flies for people. Of course we
Yeah.
test our
Right.
flies and make sure the fish like them too. But when people are buying flies, they're not thinking about what the fish is seeing. They're
Yeah.
it's pretty, so they want to buy it.
Exactly, dude.
You'll gravitate towards certain things that catch your eye, but it's all about what the fish thinks.
Yeah. Dude, I think so. You say you tie your redfish crack flies with craft fur?
Yeah. So like,
All of it?
well, our neon icon, which
Oh,
is very similar to like a little redfish crack.
okay.
It's actually less steps. There's no collar on it. It's just craft fur. It's a chenille hotspot craft fur. And then the hairline used to have this brush called wire-free brush. It was
Okay.
basically craft fur cut into strips, like twisted into a brush.
Okay.
So it didn't have a wire in it. It was like this cord, which was like the base of craft fur.
That's awesome.
And it was really like really fine and silky, and I used it for that. It was a strange material, but they discontinued it.
Oh.
So like we bought everything Hairline had. Like we kept calling them and calling them and calling them, like, when are you gonna make the pink? And they're like, never gave us an answer. So started discontinuing colors. I'm like, oh man, it's going away. And so we bought every remaining stock that they had, and then we ran out. We're like, oh my god, like that's our best selling pattern, and there's nothing like it. We tried so many different things, and it didn't work. And so we actually are the U.S. distributors for gnarly heads and scientific flies out of South Africa.
Oh, cool.
And so Arno makes materials. He runs the show over there, and he makes materials and flies. And so we told him that. I was like, man, we need to make a short craft fur brush. Because like EP craft fur brush has an EP core and craft fur, and it's really long. We needed like an inch and a half brush.
Yeah.
So we told him what, we sent him some samples of that, and we're like, we need this and a real brush. And he made it.
Oh, wow.
So he took his craft fur brush and just condensed it down to a short. And it's a little bit fuller. It's different than the wire free, but it actually made the pattern a little bit better. It has some blended flash in it. It takes less wraps. It's a lot more consistent than the wire free brush was. So now like our production neons are all tied with that.
That's awesome.
And so like it was cool to be able to like, say, hey, we need this, and him make it. And now we have stuff to tie it, and we can do any color we want. And Yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
It's such a stupid, simple pattern.
Yeah.
Like you almost like taking credit for it because it's like it's not, it's nothing, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes the most simple things. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I want to take a pattern like when I'm designing flies, tying flies. Like I'll tie and then I'll go, what can I take away from this fly, and it still fish well? Because I want to make a fly that I can retie a bunch of really fast.
Yeah.
You know, naturally, like when you sit down on the vise, you want to be creative and you want to make really cool things. And so, like a lot of people just over tie their flies.
Oh yeah.
There's just materials that don't belong or actually hinder the performance of a fly. So, like when I sit down and I come up with something new, I like to look at it and go, all right, what can be eliminated? Like, what is this material adding to the fly? And if it's not adding to the fly, it's taking away from the fly. So we need to remove it out of the equation. So like, two material flies are usually sometimes the ones that fish the most.
Yeah.
So, it's that's been something I like try to be aware of nowadays is like, what's the real purpose here? Is it just to look cool?
Yeah.
Is it for me? But like, how is it going to fish? So like, I try to simplify everything as much as I can. And that's just a pattern that just, craft fur moves good. It's like marabou. You can just tie marabou on a hook and catch fish all day long.
Do legitimately.
Sauce and stuff. Craft fur is a little more durable than marabou though, so I like it.
Dude, I think if there could be something simplified, it's tying crab patterns where it's like, you take I want to say it's EP fiber and you got to tie around it. Like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, my crab patterns come out looking like shit every single time. I'm like, dude, I cannot get this down like at all.
Yeah. It's a tricky process. I mean, it's a really good technique to learn because you can do so many things with it, like crabs and quans, and there's just so many things that use that technique. But like Yusuf, that he works for me here in the shop. He's an excellent tyer. You can see a lot of his stuff on our site and our Instagram. But like, man, he crushes it, and he's like so good about taking small amounts of material, even if it takes him 10 stacks to build that crab. He does it, and they just look so much better when they're not just like stacks crammed in there, but it's time consuming. I hate to do it. I'm more along the EP lines, or just wrap a brush and trim it.
That's kind of how I am too.
Yeah.
I buy a bunch of the EP tarantula brush, dude.
Yeah,
that tarantula brush is awesome. I'm gonna cover up the logo of it, but that stuff right there, I hate tying with that.
Yeah,
dude, like it gets so clumpy, and I like it though. Like I'll use it and I'll put it on flies. It's just tough to tie with,
Yeah.
Well,
things like that, like some materials suck, and then you'll find like a really good use for it. Like that wire free brush I was talking about that we made our one of our most popular flies. I hated it when I first got it. Like I just got it as a sample, and I was like, man, this is like terrible. It's like inconsistent. And then like I don't remember how I stumbled across that pattern, but I was just like, I'm just going to try to build up a head with it, and it ended up working. Like it had sat in the drawer for a long time, and then turns out it was like my most used material later on. Like, so I always like to try to revisit things and go, all right, was I using it wrong, or what can I make out of that?
That's my thing too. Like if that was a little bit smaller, like I forget what company makes it, but it's over here somewhere. There's too much shit to go through over there. I'd have an aneurysm trying to dig through all my fly tie material. But it's like that same kind of brush, but it's really thin and it's like small. It's not as wide and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's perfect for like we were just talking about, like a redfish crack fly, or just like a regular run of the mill like shrimp pattern where it's bead chain eyes and like some craft fur on the back of it with some legs coming off of it. It's perfect for that. And it's like if I could go and buy every single bag of that in every single color, I would. But like that stuff, I use the stuff I was just showing you for like the second part of gurglers, and it just like stacks up and it brushes out perfectly. I use I cut the back off of one of my old hunting hats, and that's what I use
Yeah.
as a brush.
Nice. Get
But
creative.
yeah, I was like, man, I broke my other one. I was like, oh shoot, dude, I need something like quick. And I just like, I got an old hunting hat sitting over there. I'm just gonna chop it up and and put it on there.
Hey, it works, man. That's part of the fun of fly tying is like you can get super creative.
Yeah.
You can tie a lot of flies. That stuff you can just find around your house.
Oh yeah.
Dog hair or whatever.
Yeah, dude. I saw a video earlier of a kid literally cutting hair off of his dog. It's like a golden
Yeah,
retriever and
yeah,
tying like bait fish patterns with it. I'm like, I
yeah.
have a Boston Terrier. I can't really cut the hair off of my dog that's coat is that thin.
Yeah. Oh, I got some mutts, man. My dogs have some really good hair. It's pretty fine. It's like wiry, and they're black and white and blonde, and it's like, man, I could make some really cool stuff out of theirs, and they get pretty long. They're like schnauzer mixes, so like I've played around with that before, but I've seen some pretty good dog hair flies.
I have too.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I wish my dog had a longer coat.
Yeah.
But how does your shop foster like community among anglers, both locals, visiting anglers, and what's like one thing that you're proud of about your community's culture? I know we've hit on a little bit of that first part of the question.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, definitely. It's just bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
Why we named it community. Having that hub. It's kind of like we use the if you build it, they will come mentality, and like, everybody really did show up and support us, and we're like forever grateful for that. For everybody supporting us, but we're just super thankful for them, and it's just awesome to see like the variety of people that come in here from like little kids at the at our tying table to snowbirds in their 70s or 80s sitting there tying,
Yeah.
and they're dropping knowledge on us from like the old times and like way they did stuff that like we can use and adapt, and like just sharing all the stories, and is just really cool for like everybody to do, and it's really been like just kind of special to have those times. And the other day there was old guys in here like just talking about their day, and they just came by with like coffee and donuts, and it's
Yeah.
like that's the shit we live for in here. It's like
Yeah.
because they come in and they tell us about their day, and they like learn everything, like teach us everything. And yeah, it's really really cool. What was the last part of that question?
What's one thing you're proud of about the community culture?
Oh yeah, that's right. So um man, it's just like I don't know, man. It's I'm just proud to be a part of it. Like
Yeah.
I said, I mean, I know we have an effect on this area, like having built this for people to come to, but at the same time, I'm just really stoked to be a part of like a good community that's in a good place and time, and it's growing. It's like I said, our timing was so great um, with the scene, the fly fishing scene blowing up in our area because it's kind of new here. It's not
Yeah.
like where there's a long history. There's not a long. I mean, there are guys. There was a guy that in the early '90s set like tons of world records here,
Huh.
but there wasn't like a big culture here. I mean, there definitely
Yeah.
wasn't like the amount of people there are now. So I'm just really stoked to like be a part of like fostering what's gonna the future is gonna be like for fly fishing here.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to watch it grow.
Dude,
Uh,
that's awesome. Like watching something grow like that is really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to see what it is like from a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's just exploding. You never saw skiffs, and part of me hates it. At the same time, like it's like I'll go to my flat and there's four other boats. So like it's easy to get like grumpy old man syndrome. Like
Yeah.
talk about the good old days or whatever, and like, but at the same time, it's cool to be able to share it with people. To
Yeah.
like build a business and like build a career and a life here around fly fishing, and do what I love every day. Just talk about fishing. It's just, I mean, it's rad.
Oh yeah. Dude, I wish I could do that for a living. Very much
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But
takes time, man. Just takes
Yeah,
time.
that's what like that's kind of like I've been telling myself like I just got to play the long game and like kind of take it day by day.
Mhm.
But how has the business evolved from Space Coast Flies online to like running? We've already like answered that. we've answered a
Oh,
bunch of the
yeah.
questions. But
Yeah, I know we ramble. Like I said,
dude,
I get
it's
lost
fun
halfway
though.
through my sentence, but that's ADHD for you. But yeah, it has it's evolved a lot, and it'll continue to
Yeah,
evolve. Like I said, we have really big visions on what's going forward. Like me and Ian talk about this every day. Like we don't believe like this is not we're not even to the big picture yet.
yeah,
Like we're stoked to have a shop, and if it never goes further than this, then it's great. But like we have such a big vision to like go forward, and we don't know what that next chapter really looks like, whether it be more shops or wholesale explode. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's a lot of things in our pipeline, but it's definitely evolving every single day.
Oh yeah. So like, kind of, what's your like if you can what you can say like what's kind of like your vision for the future of Space Coast Flies and Community Fly Supply? Like you guys having like new products coming in, expanded events, more educational stuff, guiding maybe.
Yeah, all of the above. Other than guiding, I don't want to be a guide. Maybe when I retire, I'll do some like specialty guiding. Um, that's just too much pressure,
Oh
man. I
yeah.
can't. I just like I talk to my buddies that are guides almost every day, and that just seems like a lot of pressure. Like I think that would be that would be tough. I mean, it's a lot of hard work being out
Oh
there on the
yeah.
water every day too. Um, but yeah, just our vision, like going forward. Um, I'm kind of lucky to have ADHD. Like my wheels never stop turning. I'm always trying to think of something new. So, fly design, of course, but like, growing this shop because we're not at 100% here at Community. Like we have, we're bringing on like this year is going to be a big year. This past year was huge, just getting the shop and trying to get our feet on solid ground, seeing what our customers want, like what the area needs, like, learning from our mistakes, like just building the shop. And this year we kind of know what's working. So we're really expanding on things like expanding our inventory. We really want to get into some hosted travel.
Oh heck yeah.
So working with some lodges and some places to where, because we're hearing it every single day. I mean, we're selling flies every single day online, and, we're shipping 40 crabs to Colorado. This guy's not going fishing in Colorado, like this guy's traveling, so
Yeah.
like, and we want to travel, we want to
Yeah.
learn, we want to go and work with these lodges and go, what flies are working, how can we tie those flies, let's work together on developing patterns or just doing the hosted trips there, just so
Yeah.
we can experience different places and take our customers there too. And then that's a really great thing because you can build content with your customers there. Just you can test flies. It kind of checks all the boxes, and of course, who doesn't want to go travel the world?
Yeah.
So we really like to move into that area. Like I said, we do work with Scientific Fly and Gnarly Head, so we're going to extend that relationship and expand on that and bring in products in, and hope to bring our patterns like to where we can wholesale consistently our design patterns to other shops. So that'll be like basically a whole different business. That's already in the works. We're already selling their products, but we're working with him and his factories to do some of our patterns so we can get those out there. So that's another big part of the business. So, and then of course, like we mentioned before, maybe a second location.
Heck yeah.
Um, that's definitely in our mind, and we're already putting feelers out there for that, and where that's going to be and what that looks like.
Sweet
Uh,
dude.
yeah, a lot of things, man. If I,
Hell
if I
yeah.
get done, if I can do 10% of my ideas, then that'll be a lot.
Dude, yes, that's
Right,
like
a lot of
something.
ideas. Yeah,
Same thing here. It's like, dude, my brain is always just like it's literally always rolling, dude. It's like you're just saying it too, dude. It's like that's one thing that I've been like talking about is like the hosted trip thing. It's like where do I want to go from here? Like hosted trips is definitely up there, and
yeah.
like getting like a legit website started. I got one
Mhm.
built out on like Shopify.
Okay. Yeah,
But
great
like,
platform. I'm in the middle of building our new site. It's going to be a lot bigger. Another thing in our vision that we're working on is expanding. I told you before, we're expanding our YouTube. So like just content in general. Now that like we kind of had to take a step back from a lot of things this year building the shop, and what we get asked for the most is like tying videos,
yeah,
uh, and just putting that knowledge out there and new patterns that we come up with. And now we kind of building a team. We're going to kind of rely on some other guys. We're going to, work with some of our tires, film them. We're going to do some as well. So like just more content, because we've kind of had to like put that on the back burner while we build this part of the business, with it being the brick and mortar shop. But we got a long list of patterns and videos that we're looking to make. So I think you'll see a lot more
heck yeah.
footage of tying and then also fishing as well.
Sweet. That's one thing I made myself a goal that I was like, I need to get more than just podcasts on my on my YouTube page. So it's like that's one thing I was like, I need to kind of ramp that up and do a little more, because it's like somebody's probably like, dude, this dude just only talks about fishing, he never goes.
It's hard, man.
It is.
It's hard, and luckily I hired Yusuf. My wife helps with packing orders now. I just hired my brother. So like we're growing our team here so we can accomplish these things, because
Yeah.
it's been a 2-man show for 8 years, and at our rate of growth, it's like we really need some people. Bad about like delegating things. It's like it's going to take a team to accomplish these things. So we're lucky to have like really good people we can rely on to help start making those things happen.
Yeah, I got you, man. So this is my last fishing related question. What's one piece of advice you'd offer to someone kind of like dreaming about opening a fly shop or starting a fly design brand on their own?
Okay. I'm going to say, I maybe just said it. Take your time. Um, we didn't rush this. Like I said, we started this as like a side gig, and I know a lot of people do that. But I really think like it does take time to do this, but be consistent. Like even though we took a long time to build our business, um, we stayed pretty consistent throughout the whole thing. We just kind of never let our foot off the gas. We just kind of push a little harder now.
Yeah,
Of course, as the more it picked up, we started pushing harder. So, it'll come. You just can't push it. I feel like if you push it too much and you try to take on too much, which I just said we're taking on so much, but like now we've kind of at a point where we can't do anything else. But I really think just be easy with it and just focus on making a good product. Take your
yeah,
time with client. Like you don't gotta drop a new fly. Like I said, be consistent, but like you don't gotta come out with a new pattern every other week. Like those things have to be tested.
yeah,
Like I see a lot of people that are just dropping flies and like, I mean, I'm not gonna call anybody out, but it's like I see a lot of crabs that'll sink upside down.
yeah,
And it's like, and it's like I don't know if like test your product. That's advice. I tie flies all the time, and I tie flies that are very similar to flies that I've produced and are proven, and I take them out back, and they swim on their side, or they won't keel correctly, and then I have to go right back to the drawing board. But like, take the time to go test those things before you put it out in the world, because you can tarnish your name by making a crab that swims upside down,
yeah,
or doesn't feel correctly. Like think about the process and go fish it. Don't just rush to go throw it on Instagram because you need some content. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, think about it. These flies have to catch fish.
yeah.
That comes first, and then work on perfecting them to make them pretty.
Heck yeah. Dude, thank you very much. My last question is always, so I have a running playlist, like I told you yesterday.
Yep.
I give 5 songs, and then you give 5 songs.
Go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is the hardest question you've asked the whole time by far. That's like, yeah, I thought about that when you sent it. I'm like, oh, that's impossible to think of 5 songs, but I think I got a way to do it. So
That's what like everybody says. They're like, dude, like this is such a
yeah,
hard question. Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. I listen to a big variety of music.
I do
So
too.
like, growing up, I mean, I grew up on surf and skate videos, so I was in the punk scene, like so punk and hardcore. I was in a hardcore band with Ian for years. So like in a hardcore metalcore band. So I was gonna just drop a bunch of metalcore and deathcore on you, but after seeing your playlist, I don't think I'll do that to you. So
You could, man.
I got a few others. Yeah,
But dude, yeah, that I was like a big Blink 182 guy when I was a kid. Like, all the Tony Hawk game soundtracks.
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That like was half my childhood was
Oh
Tony
yeah,
Hawk soundtrack for sure.
dude, the Tony
So
Hawk.
I need to go first or you?
It's up to you, man. I can go first, or you can go first.
Yeah, I'll just say so. I got them written down right here.
All right.
I had to think about this. I'm gonna go with Trusty Chords by Hot Water Music,
Let's.
because that's Chuck Reagan's band. Chuck Reagan is a professional musician, but he's a fly fisherman too. So he's a guide out in California.
Oh,
So
cool.
I grew up on Hot Water Music. They're like a punk band, rock band, and so I grew up going to Hot Water Music shows. So love that band forever and ever. And he does his solo stuff too, which is more folky. It's been in a bunch of videos. He's sponsored by Hatch and Yeti and
Oh,
Loon, and
cool.
so a lot of people know Chuck and his music. But my wife actually bought me a trip with him like a few years back for Christmas, like as a surprise.
Oh, it's
So
awesome.
like it was really surreal, like going striper fishing with him when I grew up going to his shows, and like I didn't even know he fished back then. Like
Yeah.
he'd just go to a show and have a good time. And then I think we saw him one time he was doing a solo gig, and he's like, "Oh, I'm stoked to be here. I caught redfish this morning." I'm like, "What? He fishes?" And then I look up, and he's a fly fishing guide. So it's like pretty funny. We were talking about like how all the same people do the same things, and
Yeah.
now he's a fly fishing guide. So like I gotta put Trusty Chords, Hot Water Music, um, Punk Rock Loser by Viagra Boys. Um, Viagra Boys, they're blowing up now. But Sebastian, their singer, is also a fly fisherman.
Oh,
And
cool.
I met him through my friend Drew Wilson and took him fishing here. They're from Sweden. So it's cool that like I'm a fan of their music, but he also fly fishes, and we got to link up too. So that's another good one. Those guys are rad. And then Shake It Out by Manchester Orchestra. So my good friend Andy Prince is the bass player in that band. He's
Uh-huh.
from Pensacola. So if you follow Space Coast or you see any of our content, you've seen Andy on
Yeah.
there. So he's my fishing buddy. That's probably who I fish with the most. So give them a shout out. They're killer, man. And then I'm gonna have to say Sound System by Operation Ivy. They're a ska punk band from forever ago. That's probably my favorite band of all time.
Heck yeah.
And then 59 Sound by Gaslight Anthem. They're
I've
probably
I've heard of
one of
that
my
band.
favorite bands of all time too.
What was that one? 59.
59 Sound
Cool.
by the Gaslight Anthem.
I'm I'm pretty sure I've heard that song somewhere.
Yeah, you probably have. It's super popular, but those are just ones that like I can turn on. Of course, the three are my fly fishing buddies and awesome dudes that fly fish. So I thought that was pretty fitting. But
Heck yeah.
those other two is like I can listen to them anytime.
Oh yeah. So the ones I picked. So I've been on a big kick. Like, so my younger sister went to University of Georgia, and I'm like a huge
Mhm.
widespread panic head, and all that
Okay.
stuff. And there's a new band coming out of Athens called Penelope Road, and
Okay.
they did a version of "Man I Need" by Olivia. What's her name? Dang it, man! Been listening to her a lot recently. Um, Olivia Dean. That's who it is. They did a
Okay.
version of that, and it's actually really good. It's not as feminine of a version
Yeah.
of the one I'm used to listening to. But that was my first one, and then the new Zach Bryan, Slick Back. That's a
Okay.
good one.
Yeah, he's good.
He is really good.
Yeah.
I've seen him in concert once. What a day! I've like an awesome show. Other than the Ubers taking 4 hours to get there after the show.
Yeah, I don't listen to much country at all, but like he's seems like super raw,
Oh
like and
yeah,
organic. So like some friends of mine always play that on the boat, and that's the one. Like I'm like, okay, I can do this.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
dude. He's definitely that kind of like. He's definitely got kind of like you can tell like punk rock kind of roots to him, to
yeah,
where he is
yeah.
just like
Kind of old, like old school country
yeah,
too. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And then Snow by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, yeah.
Eyes of the World by the Grateful Dead.
Mm-hmm. We were
Sister,
listening to you had Grateful Dead on in the shop today.
dude, I love the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
That's like one of my all-time favorite bands, and that's probably top three. And then Sister Golden Hair by the band America.
Okay, sweet,
Yeah, but
nice, dude.
those are my five. Do you have any last thanks or plugs that you want to give before we sign off here?
Um, man, just you know, thanks to everybody for supporting us. Like, thanks for everybody that orders from us. I think we've shipped to like all 50 states now. So like the support is awesome. You know, we really appreciate it. Thanks for all the locals for coming out and like supporting our shop because, like you said, brick and mortar, like people opening brick and mortar shops in this time is kind of crazy, but it's working and it's awesome. So like, and then just thanks to my friends and family for the support and like you know putting up with me to my wife for putting up with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm ADHD and this business is all consuming. So, but yeah, just stoked. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So it's like really cool that we have the sport and we can do it because we can't do it without customers.
Right.
Like we can't do it without you know, everybody's support and just keep the questions coming. We love it. Like when people like interact with us, like just like you know, talking tying all the time. So like I love to just talk fishing and tying.
That's kind of how
So
I love it.
yeah. So like I mean I could nerd out on fly tying all day, every day. So it's cool that like having a shop can like connect you with people like other tires and stuff that you would normally meet because they're not even that's the one good thing about social media and stuff is like being able to meet people like like and sit down and talk about fly fishing and we're not in the same city, so it's kind of rad just to see. So we're just stoked that we're able to do this, and this is just the beginning, but we're turning it into a career, so it's pretty fun ride.
Yeah, dude, that is pretty impressive. Taking it from
Yeah,
an online shop to a brick and mortar and making it a full blown career, dude. I think that's like the American dream right there.
yeah, yeah. Starting in our garage, or a kitchen table, tying some flies. So like, just put your head down and fucking go. Like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, dude.
no way
But
to say it. Like, just keep tying, dude. Because I mean, if you really love it, you might find a way to make it work. And that's what we did. We just love fishing, and like I said, I was in the surf industry forever, and I'm just not in a place in the world. This is home, and I'm not in a place where that's sustainable. So, like, this is everybody everybody here fishes, so it's cool to be able to do it
hell
for
yeah, dude.
sure.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna click
Appreciate
stop
it.
here, and we're gonna have to let some tracks upload. There we go. What's up, guys? That was Sam with Community Fly Supply and Space Coast Flies. This is a really cool guy. Really cool story. Gave some great insight about what it took to start that whole business. Gave me some really good insight. And if you are one of those people that wants to start a fly shop, start designing flies, and maybe even take it to that brick and mortar, the whole sector, I guess. That there's some great information in this episode. Big thanks to Sam for coming on. And like I said, we will be having a lot more come to the YouTube page this year. Um, got some stuff in the works, some stuff cooking. Been posting some fly time videos. A little more of that should be coming here soon. I was kind of the one trick pony last year where I was really only posting podcast snippets and stuff like that. So more stuff will be coming. YouTube, Instagram, all that. Um, if you would like to follow along, um, Rise Flies CLT on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Also, go on and follow Space Coast Flies, Community Fly Supply on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. And if you want to, if you liked this episode, give it a review on Spotify, Apple. Go subscribe to the YouTube page. Really appreciate everybody that already has, everybody that's always reviewed, and all that good jazz. Thank you guys, anyone that's gone on and reviewed the podcast. And like I said, in the show description of this podcast episode, go down and check it out if you want a month free of Trout Routes Pro. Really helpful. Got me out of a few jams. Actually got me out of more jams than one. And it's just really good to have, especially out on the water. If you're up there, you don't have service, anything like that. You can download the maps, so you still have, you're not flying blind. That's where I've been helped, where I wasn't flying blind, and got in a little bit of a jam, if you know what I mean. So down in the show notes, there's a link. Go click it. Sign up. You will get a month of Trout Routes Pro free. Thank you guys for listening. I will see everybody again on Friday.